And we are live.
Yeah, we are.
Welcome to the discussion. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Talking some WandaVision today.
Yeah, the big finale this week.
Yeah. Yeah, going drops I guess Thursday. It's late.
Midnight.
Midnight basically.
2 o'clock here.
2 o'clock here.
2 a.m.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess it'll be
Hey Jada.
so, I guess it's gonna be something, right? Here.
And everybody's hopefully looking forward to it, and hopefully we can get some discussion going here and see what everybody thinks. Can everybody hear us fine?
Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
Yeah, just give us a hi and let us know you can hear us.
Okay. Good. Jada says hi. Nice. Yeah, I guess the big thing is my one question to everybody is everybody gonna be
Yep. There's Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan's in there. Hi, Ethan.
Bianca. Can you guys hear us fine?
Let's see here. Guess the big question is, what's everybody gonna do? Is everybody gonna stay up late and watch it, or we're just gonna watch it? Everybody watching it Friday?
Or are we just the crazy ones who stay up in the middle of the night watching it?
That could be it. Maybe that might be it.
They can hear us. That's awesome.
Excellent. Good. So I guess starting the discussion on the season finale. Where are we going? We started out slow.
Very slow with all those sitcoms,
Yeah.
and nobody knew what the heck was going on.
Yeah.
It didn't really look like it was going anywhere.
Yeah.
And then things turned around real fast.
Now we're ramping up, right? Last couple episodes have been really good, I found. I know everybody else is thinking as far as the episodes, have they felt it's gotten better, and are we going somewhere? I think so.
Well, the thing is, who's going to end up being the big baddie, and who's going to be the big reveal? Because there's supposed to be still a big reveal this year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big name character, supposedly, whether it's somebody who's already in the MCU or introducing a new character.
Someone new. What do you guys think? Is there going to be someone big that we've seen before? Who is it? Who can it be?
We kept talking about Reed Richards.
Yeah,
Could that possibly be the big reveal?
Yeah.
And who'd be playing him?
Mr. Fantastic, right? So, and then the other idea would be Doctor Strange was another one we had.
Yeah. Or could it be Spider-Man himself? I never thought of that till just now. Just because that's where they're going next.
Yeah, maybe.
So instead it's a big Luke Skywalker like moment. It's going to be a huge cameo.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a big name.
I don't know. You think Spider-Man? I don't know. I'm just
That's as big as it
I'm
gets.
just trying to think. I don't think. How did Spider-Man get involved in this? I mean, he was a central point if we're talking about the storyline of House of M. Okay, what do you got? M. Hart says, "What are we looking for? Wondering if it's evil
intention or good intentions gone wrong."
Okay, that's a good question. I think it's good intentions gone wrong. I think with Wanda, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think she's evil necessarily. She's just really lost, and she's in such remorse that
multiple instances of loss, right? So she is.
It's been nothing but loss for her.
Yeah. And Ethan says, "Are we going to see a cameo?" Yeah, and that's what we're thinking. We're going to see somebody.
It's going to be huge. It's got to be somebody big, and even if we don't get that big cameo, the show was still really good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it going to hurt it? No. Yeah. But is it going to push it over the top? Depends on who it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the big thing is who do we want to see? There are some thoughts that maybe we talked about possibly Dr. Doom, that was the other idea, because he's an aerospace engineer. That's one of them.
Well, didn't they already introduce the aerospace engineer?
Well, was that really the aerospace engineer?
Kind of a letdown.
Or was that an army buddy?
I know it was a big letdown.
Yeah, I know.
It was definitely a big letdown.
I wasn't happy with that part. I wanted to see something a little bit more, right? So
yeah, I think it's not going to be that. I think it's going to be something to do with the multiverse.
Yeah,
and it's going to be somebody coming up probably. It's like I said, it could be Spider-Man. It could be Doctor Strange. Could be Reed Richards.
Could be Doctor Doom. Other ones, or is the big cameo just the bad guy? Who's pulling? Because
and who is the bad guy?
Yeah,
That's the other thing.
Does everyone out there think that Agatha is the bad guy, as we'd say, the bad person?
I think there's somebody bigger pulling the strings.
Yeah,
and we've been saying all along, maybe Mephisto, but I kind of changed my tune with they've been name dropping the word nightmare a lot in the last couple episodes.
And we brought that up way earlier.
Yeah, we talked about
we talked about Nightmare,
but it was almost pointing towards Mephisto for a long time.
It really was.
But I think it could be Nightmare.
Yeah, and that would be an interesting pick to put in there because battling Doctor Strange, things like that. So I mean, it kind of ties in if Wanda is moving into Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. If that's her next appearance, that's where we'd go. Having Nightmare as a bad guy for that would be great. Like I like that. And also if they if we do have Nightmare in it, the question is, do they cast it? I've heard rumors that possibly casting female for Nightmare. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't mind that. Nightmare is just kind of a oddball character, anyways. So
yeah. I don't know which way they go with that.
Yeah. So leading to a cliffhanger, which leads to another season featuring whoever generated the TV show.
I don't think that they're gonna have another season.
Yeah, I mean, I think all these are going to be one-offs.
I think they're one and done.
Just got a feeling.
They're too expensive to generate that many TV shows, unless Disney is pulling in the cash, which they are, I'm sure. Like,
is it really too expensive for Disney?
Well,
let's be honest.
You have to be making money. You can't be just spending. And this was the most expensive television show ever produced. 200.
Yeah.
What was it? 240 million.
I think it's something like 240 million.
That's crazy.
Which is a lot.
Crazy money.
So, and I heard Falcon Winter Soldier was pretty expensive as well.
And I'm not sure it would be.
So,
and it's gonna be the same length, just shorter episodes.
Yeah,
longer episodes.
Well, all these Disney shows are just pumping money into them, so I guess why not?
Yeah.
But, yeah, Ethan Wanda did generate the TV show. So, yeah, she generated the TV show. She's kind of in control of the whole thing, and I think going that route, that's why Agatha was interested in her. And that was kind of a big thing that was revealed to us.
Well, yeah, that whole thing with Agatha could go in different directions yet. We don't know exactly what her intentions are, but we're just guessing that. You mentioned in the past that Agatha's always helped Wanda.
That's right.
So
kind of a guide.
Yeah,
kind of a guide to help her. And I feel like that. Why would you bring her in, and then change her up to make her a bad guy? I just don't think that's the case, because if she was truly the bad person, she would have maybe revealed herself a little sooner. I don't know. She's been studying her. That's been part of it, right?
Yeah.
So if Agatha's studying her, trying to figure out how she's doing this magic, and then realizes that that Wanda has no clue how she's doing it.
I agree with Hart. I don't think that Agatha is the evil one.
Yeah, a red herring for sure.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah,
I think somebody bigger is pulling the strings.
Yeah.
One of the things I saw in one of the other videos online, somebody had pondered, was she was talking to the rabbit she was holding, and then that rabbit ate that bird or whatever. Yeah. Could that be the person in just another form?
Possibly. Well, I mean, in the comics, she has a cat, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's a cat, and the cat talks to her. So, I mean, whether that's part of it, I don't know. I mean, I always think she's always talking about Ralph, and I don't know whether.
Yeah, we haven't seen Ralph, and I think Ralph will be the one pulling the strings, whether it's Mephisto, whether it's Nightmare, or whether maybe it's somebody off the board. Maybe they went off the board and went away from the original story.
Well, that could be. Thoughts on Vision's future? Well,
which Vision?
Yeah, and I think that's just it. The Vision we saw at the end of the episode, where he's White Vision, was from a comic storyline, and he has none of his old memories, none of his things. He's not even really himself.
Not Vision.
He's not himself.
He's a copy. He's a clone.
Yeah,
basically.
So, and I think Wanda created this alternate Vision, who's not reality. So, I mean, I think that Vision basically, if she is snapped back to reality at the end of this next episode, that Vision that she created is gone, I think.
Yeah, well, even when she was kind of losing there before, when she saw him, and he was just a shell.
Yeah.
He was his dead body.
Exactly. Which character is a shapeshifter? Well, the Skrulls are shapeshifters.
And that's going to be coming up into the in Phase 5.
Phase 5 with the Secret War.
Yes, that. And I don't know if they'll drop that many hints towards that yet. Or, they've had them already in there.
Yeah.
Where Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury was on their ship.
Yeah, that's true.
So they could be dropping hints towards that.
Well, they could. I mean, obviously with the MCU, they've been big setups, right? So you have a character from another show pops into another another movie, and you just got a gradual continuation, right? Continuity is the big thing I think we've seen from the MCU universe, really, right? So I don't know. Could be anything. Could be maybe. Who else would be a shapeshifter? I'm just thinking right now off the top of my head of any comics.
Mystique.
Yeah, Mystique. Yeah, that's true. She's about the only other shapeshifter I can think of.
I can think of off the top of my head.
So Mystique and
Can she change form to a smaller size like that though?
I think it's just human forms,
Yeah.
you know. So I think with Mystique though, they overused her in X-Men. So I just can't see, since they got the Fox properties back, I can't see Mystique being even anywhere near the future at all. Like same with Wolverine. Can you think Wolverine?
Well, they were talking about dropping these characters in future movies bit by bit. And they were thinking about dropping. The rumor out there was they were going to drop in Wolverine as Patch.
Yeah.
So these other characters might come.
Yeah.
And go in some of these series. We might see some of these guys in these characters in these TV shows.
Yeah.
Like in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Maybe that's when they started. Maybe even this one. Maybe that's the cameo.
Yeah.
Maybe it ends up being. I just thought of another one.
What do you got?
What about dear old dad? Maybe it's Wanda's real dad.
Magneto.
Magneto.
That would be something. That would be more interesting.
They didn't show him being, or her parents being Magneto and somebody else, right?
That's true.
So maybe they were adopted at some point.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe Magneto shows up.
That's possible.
Maybe we get Ian McKellen or Michael Fassbender.
Oh, Fassbender would be good.
Fassbender would be really good. I guess it would make more sense with him.
Well,
he could pull it off more so because
I think so.
he'd otherwise be granddad.
What does everybody else think out there? Who's your thoughts on showing up?
Yeah, I wonder. I'd like to see a lot of the theories out there as to who. And there's been leaks apparently this last week, and I do not. I
haven't read anything.
I'm doing everything I can to avoid that because I don't want to ruin it for myself. I don't know why people like to do that, but I want to try and figure it out myself and be surprised.
Well, the show drops in literally 3 days, pretty much. So we might as well wait till then. I've been trying to stay away from the spoilers as well. Just because I think it's nice to go into a show with an open mind and not have any sort of.
And we also have to remember when we're talking to the peeps out there, they're getting the message a few seconds later than what we actually say it because we're live, but there was always that delay.
There is a delay.
I'm not sure if we have the Don Cherry delay.
Yeah, just to monitor us, make sure we don't say anything crazy, right? So, I guess the big thing. Oh, so we got another question here.
And that's the thing. There might be. Do we think there's going to be an X-Men thrown into the show? And if it was, the most likely would be Magneto. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think the most likely X-Men would be Magneto. I don't see who else you would throw in there.
Well, and it makes sense because it's her father in lore.
Yeah.
Whether they go that way right now or not, because we discussed it before, and you didn't think they would.
No, I didn't think they would. I honestly think it's going to be someone. Either it's going to be a bad guy, and we don't know who's cast for those characters, so it's somebody different, and we're going to be like, wow, look, I can't believe that they're Mephisto or they're Nightmare, or I think that's what we'll see. But if I really had to put my guess on it, I think it's going to be Doctor Strange.
Well, it would make sense.
Yeah, I
mean that's where they're going, and they're going to the multiverse, right?
Maybe that's too easy though.
Well, and I don't consider that to be a Luke Skywalker type.
But hold on, but why? Okay, so then why would Doctor Strange show up? He wouldn't show up for just because. To stop Agatha or talk to Agatha? I don't know.
But this is where the multiverse starts splitting at the end of this.
Because of her.
Yeah, there's obviously going to be some sort of battle here, probably.
With her and Agatha, and maybe they come to the realization that they're not supposed to be battling each other. I don't know. I think it has to be a bad guy.
That shows up?
Yeah, maybe bad guys. Then it would make sense that maybe Agatha and Wanda team up, get into it, this bad guy. Maybe there's no resolution. And then it just sets up future. Right? I don't know.
But is this the big baddie for the whole phase? Or is it just...
No, I still think...
Because if you're going to set up a baddie for the whole phase, like how did they do it with Thanos? He wasn't in there right.
Well, no, he would pop in at the very end of shows, and you get like a...
So do we get that next level cameo from him? Like, do we get Doctor Doom maybe, like you said?
Yeah, we get
at the end.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a cameo like that, then that'd be like...
Because it's going to have to be a big baddie if it's going to be just like... Yeah. Like, they're going to carry him on. It won't be Nightmare or Mephisto because I don't think that'll be the big baddie of the phase. They're gonna go with a big character.
As we heard before, that they would be going with kind of little small installments, like not necessarily a big end game idea where they had 23 movies, but then now we have 3, 4, 5, 6 movie arcs instead. Shows possible.
Well, yeah, and these are like it's giving mini arcs to this because the phases are going to be smaller, tighter stories.
Yeah. So classic storyline, overcoming the monster, for sure. And if Wanda is considered the monster,
well, I think
she overcomes her own.
I think
problems?
she's currently considered the monster by
Yeah.
some, but you look at Monica, and she doesn't consider her that at all. She thinks that I think she thinks there's something more. She knows that she can get through to Wanda. I think everybody knows that Wanda's causing the issues, but I don't think anybody thinks that she's the bad guy except for maybe. What's his name there?
Who? Mephisto?
No, the general or whatever.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting his name.
Yeah, I know. Oh, Hayward. Hayward.
And
Yeah.
is he somebody else?
Yeah.
Maybe he is one of the.
Well, we talked about before the possibility of Hayward being Ultron,
Which would be a cool.
and I think that would be super awesome if you brought Ultron back and made him kind of a baddie here in this situation. But then has Marvel retrended their bad guys? They really haven't done that. I guess Loki's appeared in a few of them, so he's been around. Thanos really didn't show up until the last 2 movies. So
Yeah, he just said little cameos and.
yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, Ultron's not had to be a good little twist though. Ultron's in there, but you don't set Ultron up all series if that's the case, and then throw him in, and then you don't kill that bad guy at the very end.
That's why I'm thinking that there's gonna be a bad guy showing up, but I think the big cameo is somebody coming in to help and maybe put an end to that.
Yeah, possibly, and I think that might be it. Like another question would be hoping the finale is not disappointing. Show started slow. Yeah,
that was the common complaint. Is a lot of people didn't like the way it started. They didn't know where it was going, and it was very confusing.
Yeah,
like what are they doing? And it all they explained it well, and they explained why she was going back to these sitcoms and why she created this world. They explained why she was raised on learning English with these shows with her parents. But the show really did pick up.
Well, it all makes sense now.
Oh, yeah,
right.
And we knew it was going to, but it was a weird start for sure.
Yeah. Why does Wanda sound more depressed every time she says previously on WandaVision? That's a good question.
Well,
I think she is in a depressive state.
Yeah, and I think when you and she knows and she realizes down deep inside that it's not a real world and it's not going to last. Yeah,
and that's very very true. I don't know, like going back to our point about who's going to be on, and like the one I was just thinking, we haven't seen Monica. Now we didn't see her last episode.
Well, remember, because Quicksilver caught her at the storm door.
So where did Quicksilver take her?
Well, I don't think they took her anywhere. I think they just didn't go to that part.
Just a time lapse, right? So we got what's happening with Wanda, and on the outside, Monica's dealing with Pietro, as she called him. Pietro, yeah. So who knows? I mean, what's Monica doing? Well, maybe Monica's the one who's I don't know. There's so many ways you can go here. Like Monica's obviously gonna have to come in here and help out.
Yeah, I think she's gonna play a really big part because the lore of her. And now that I've actually learned about her, because I didn't know anything about her, and then I've been watching some stuff, and technically she is the way they described her. She's one of the most powerful people out there. Period.
She's kind of a lot similar power base of Captain Marvel. Right, so that along those same lines, that kind of energy power.
Yeah, but she can tap into any power, basically manipulate it. So it doesn't matter who comes at her; she can basically stop.
That's right. So you have her sitting there, and so she's obviously going to try and help Wanda. Now, the more you think about it, if Agatha is not the baddie in this series, and she goes out, and you have Agatha, Monica, and Wanda theoretically figuring things out together, hopefully at the end of the finale, then that would make it, you'd have to have an appearance with a bad guy.
Well, I think for sure there's an appearance of a bad guy.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get one more baddie, the big baddie, and I think we're going to get one more big hero. I
think so.
I really do.
So, okay, so That's a lot of people in that little last finale.
Yeah, but it's just leading into this is the beginning of the new phase, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna really open it up, and then they want people to be excited for it again, right?
Do we know?
How do you top Endgame?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you'll honestly. I don't know if you ever be able to top.
And I don't think, but they've taken it to the next level,
No,
they have nowhere to go but down now. So they're not going to want to try and just bring an average show. They're going to try and pump it up because they want this series to be just as good as the other ones.
Well, like I said to you before, I keep waiting for them to like fall off the map,
and
they just haven't. Every time I was rewatching a couple of other shows, a few weeks ago, and I just kept thinking to myself, these shows are just so good, and I was thinking about Endgame itself and even Infinity War. How did Endgame not get up for any awards? It's just like
because of the genre, it's a stigma, right? And it's not necessarily fair.
What do we got here? A couple other questions. Are Wanda's kids mutants? Well, yeah. I mean, if they're real, well, that's the real question.
They're not.
Yeah, and I don't think they are real. So I think they're a manifestation of either, if you have in comic lore, of Mephisto creating these children,
bits of his soul.
Bits of his soul. If that is the case, then they are not real, and it's going to be interesting if that's the case. The way this is lining up, it just, I don't know. It feels like it has to be somebody.
Well, you'd think
in that type of realm.
It could almost be Mephisto and Nightmare involved.
Wouldn't that be something?
Neither one would be wrong, right? They've kind of left kind of, like I've been saying, breadcrumbs along to all these things. So they've dropped hints that it could be Mephisto. They've dropped little hints that it could be Nightmare.
Yeah.
Maybe it's both.
Now, what if you had both of them in there? And then, well, that would definitely cause epic superhero, big person to come in, a cameo, which I think would be, those guys are magical. Who'd better to show up would be Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And if Wanda's rift that's happened here, and she spread it pretty far, if it is the rift that causes the fracture of the multiverse, well, then here we go. And then you bring Doctor Strange in, it kind of ties together with Doctor Strange's movie. And then you have, maybe a Mephisto and Nightmare battling it out. And then you need Agatha, you need Monica, you need all these people.
But then this is one big finale then, if that's the case.
Well, and maybe they don't resolve it here.
But maybe not.
Maybe they just give it to you, and it's like, here it is. This is what you're getting. Now we're going to leave you. Sorry, wait for the next movie.
The other question was, is Monica a superhero?
Monica is a superhero,
and like you said, she's had multiple
superhero names: Spectrum, Photon. She was Ms. Marvel, or actually Captain Marvel. Pardon me. So Captain Marvel. She's 3 of those. I think she has a couple other ones, but those are the 3 main ones. But from all the reports reading, she is Spectrum.
But she was never a big character either.
She was part of the Avengers for a while, so she was fairly big. But I mean, like I said, we talked about this before. I love how she got her powers
in this show. They changed up the origin.
Definitely change it up, and I think it's a fantastic way of doing it. And her going through and I really want to see her. More of her powers. Like we only saw like a little small glimpse.
I like the way that they're doing it, and they're taking the basic storybook lines from the comics, but they're putting their own twist on it. So it's not exactly what you've read in the past. There are twists and turns and surprises. You don't want to have the same stories retread.
No, that's exactly it.
And just know everything that's coming, because then that's no fun.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've talked on numerous occasions about how they're taking ideas, like I said, from the comics. And making their own, and I think that's a great way of doing it, because you're not getting the same old, right?
Yeah, and like I said, if you just sputter out what's already been done, it's not going to be as big. There's no twists and no turns, no surprises. People will know what's coming.
Yeah,
and you still have an idea of what's coming, but they do their own take on it.
Yeah, and so one of the other questions there was, what was the original comic book conflict with Scarlet Witch and Vision? Yeah, if from that situation, I'm a little hazy on it, but from what I remember is that Vision did die, and then they recreated him back as that white Vision. It was called Vision Quest. It was a weird storyline, and Vision wasn't himself. So there was a conflict there. I think it was pretty sure between Scarlet Witch and her and Vision, and they battled each other out. So it's been a while since I've read that, to be honest with you. So I should dig back deeper and find out exactly what it was. But so I mean, but I think there is some elements, and I think with these shows, like we were just saying, there is some elements of the comic book coming into the show, and then they spin it a little bit. So I think that's what we're getting here is you're pulling a few and there's a few pieces, right? You got the White Vision, you have Spectrum in there now, you have Agatha, you have the possibly Mephisto storyline. There's a whole bunch of them intertwined, So
And they're going to do that for the next while here too. Like all these stories are going to be intertwined, leading into the multiverse madness.
yeah, and I was thinking about other little side characters, with Darcy Lewis and then Jimmy Woo. I mean, those characters were side pieces in Thor and Ant-Man, and they're in this. And where do they go? What's their role?
The next point, part of this is some of these minor characters that never thought you'd ever see again, and really didn't have much to do with the overall story. They tie in. They can tie them in where they want and bring them in. So we don't necessarily see the end of any of them. There could be all these little side characters coming back down the road.
Yeah, and I think that's fantastic. I mean,
I don't think I don't think we've seen the end of Darcy for sure.
No, I think she'll be. Would she show up Thor: Love and Thunder?
I'm guessing so.
Possibly. I mean, I actually read today, and I read some other stuff, but that Matt Damon and Melissa McCarthy is going to be in Thor.
I knew Matt Damon was, but I didn't hear.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy and her husband are both going to be in Thor.
Huh.
So I think they're going to be in that actor type scenario where they're doing another play or something.
Oh, maybe.
So
another cameo as fake Thor and fake Loki.
Yeah. So and that was Chris Hemsworth's brother, Luke Hemsworth, that played Thor, that fake Thor. So it's kind of funny. I mean, but those little inclusions of people, cameos or whatever, I think it's kind of the continuity rolls in. You get that for the entire MCU, and I really enjoy that part of it. Continuity for me is everything. And I don't know.
So not one prediction yet from the chat. Nobody's laying it on the line trying to let's guess because
let's hear some predictions. That's what we want to know. What does everybody think? What are your predictions for the finale? What's going to happen?
And if you've read spoilers, don't tell us.
Yeah, don't tell us the spoilers.
We don't want to know.
Just give us your prediction. You can just pretend you just made it up, and we won't judge you.
Yeah.
Even if you read a spoiler. Yeah. So, I mean, well, we could go out with our predictions. And what's your prediction then?
I've thrown out so many. I don't know which ones. Where you're going? If they're going to the next level cameo, I'm thinking it's somebody who it's either the biggest existing in the franchise, where it is possibly Spider-Man, or we get to see Magneto or somebody like that, because they're gonna want to do something big. Or if it's somebody new, they're gonna introduce one of the new franchises coming in, whether it be the Fantastic Four or the X-Men, and Magneto still would be the X-Men. So maybe that's who it is. But as for the baddie, I still think and I still feel that it's Mephisto.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of makes sense. Just the route they're going and how everything's tying in. I sure feel like that prediction is right.
I've been wrong. You've been before, but that it just like you said, it feels right.
Okay, let's see here. Oh, so we got. I think Fake Vision is going to fight the new version of Vision.
I think that's a battle we're going to see.
I think we're going to see that battle. I would totally agree.
I was thinking for the longest time that maybe it'll be Agatha and Wanda facing off, and the two Visions facing off. Mm-hmm. But then something happens. I think Agatha will come around to Wanda.
I think so too.
I not that I necessarily think she wants to fight Wanda, but I think Wanda fights her, and then I think they realize they kind of have to work together.
Yeah, and I my prediction on it is I've kind of changed mine over. And we had a lot of predictions, but I think Agatha is definitely going to turn on to Wanda's side, and they might that initial end part where we saw them kind of battling each other. I think they're gonna either hash it out or throw some magic at each other and then basically figure it out. And then we get some sort of rumbling, and then you get your appearance of your bad guy. Whether it be Mephisto, I'm leaning towards Mephisto, but Nightmare is definitely intriguing me. So if you have, or both, the ripple effect happens, and they're there, and so then who shows up? Spectrum's in the neighborhood. She rolls in, and then the three of them are facing up, and then they start getting beat up a little bit. The Visions are in the mix.
I just don't know how they tie.
There's a lot of stuff going
I don't
on.
know how they tie this up or kind of wrap it up in this finale.
Yeah.
I don't, because it just doesn't seem like there's enough time.
But what? Okay, so when our theory of Hayward, what if Hayward is Ultron, and he takes fake Vision's body or like White Vision's body, and he
takes it over,
and he takes it over and rolls in, and all of a sudden.
That would be, for me, that would be the ideal finale.
You wouldn't see that coming.
I would love that Ultron, because you said he's taken a human form in the past.
He has.
I don't think he's ever gone. I don't think he's gone.
No, Ultron's never gone.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with him in the comics.
Yeah, I think, that would be an ideal ending, because he still ties in with Vision. He ties in with the twins and all that. So I think that would be a perfect ending if it ended up being Ultron.
Yeah.
And he maybe, going forward, I don't think he's the big baddie throughout, but I think you can be satisfied with this ending and not give away too much of your future, what's coming up next, by throwing him in the mix.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the created Vision by Wanda is that he has the ability to kind of zap into people in the show, which is interesting for a fake Vision. He still has all his powers. So I'm just wondering if he comes and he's coming to help Wanda here, what happens? Like, does he actually have powers to fight? I don't know. It's a little confusing on that whole thing.
How long do you think the finale will run? Now,
Oh, that's a good.
so they said the total runtime was what, 9 hours?
I think
Or no, it was less than that.
it was less than that. I think it was less than
So
that.
will it end up being kind of the average runtime, somewhere between 35 to 45 minutes?
I think this one might be a little bit longer. It's a finale.
What was the length of the Mandalorian season?
I think that was the longest one. I think that was like 48 minutes or something like that.
I think as long as we clock it somewhere around there.
48 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let's last.
You think about the last act of a big movie, a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
It usually is a half hour, 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
For the big film.
A little bit longer.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what we're looking at.
Okay, so now we had that little talk about a possibility of a 10th episode. What if they've been fooling us the whole along, and they're saying 9, but then there's 10?
You keep bringing that up.
I know.
I don't
know,
think
I
that
just can't help it.
you lie to your viewers and say there's 9 episodes all along, and then you throw them a 10th.
Or be like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, I don't. You keep thinking that there is. I don't think there is.
No,
I think there's 9 episodes, and that's it.
Maybe I'm just hoping there's gonna be 10.
Well, we all hope there's more,
Right.
but I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I mean, really, if I'm really thinking about it, they're gonna say 9. There's gonna be 9, but I don't even know where I read that. I don't even know why it is stuck with me about having 10. But I think it's every other series seems to have an even number of shows.
Yeah, like Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to be the same running time, but it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah, because those are all an hour long episodes,
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So I don't know. I mean, it's either way, 45 minutes. If you can fit it all in there, it's got to be action packed.
You would think, with it having the big $240 million budget, have we seen $240 million worth of effects yet? Well, have we seen a lot?
Quite a bit.
But have we seen that much? Because
Okay, so
if we get a big battle here, what they're going to do in it. There's a lot of CGI and a lot of that's a big cost.
oh yeah.
So this could, if we get that big battle, I think it's short.
Okay, so think of the different storylines you have to tie up here. So you have to tie up Hayward and the White Vision storyline up a little bit here. You got to give us something. You got to tie up Agatha's storyline.
Yeah.
You have to tie up Wanda's storyline. You have to tie up Fake Vision's storyline. You got Spectrum's storyline. And then if you throw the kids in there, they're a bit of a storyline. And Pietro. You've got like 8 storylines pretty much. So you got to tie all those up somehow.
And lead into something yet.
Yeah. So I mean,
leave something, some sort of breadcrumb.
Yeah, there's a lot of threads there that
it's
gonna
be a fairly busy episode.
I think so, and that's why I think I'm tending to think that 45 minutes, maybe pushing close to an hour, might be realistic for it. Be something if we got a longer episode, but who knows? I don't know. Anyway, any other predictions? I haven't seen any other predictions out here. No one wants to go out on a limb and just give us something to chew on. I always love new theories because I mean it's or people's predictions because then it gives you a little something different to
That's
chew
what
on.
it's all about. Yeah,
Ah,
for sure.
yeah.
You definitely want to hear what everybody else thinks because everybody has a theory, and you know we're just spouting off what we think. We're not experts by any means. We're just fans like everybody else. And
yeah, I mean, and we know our stuff. We read about it. We try and stay away from a lot of the spoilers, of course. But
yeah, now that we're doing this kind of thing,
we used to be spoiler heavy.
Oh yeah, we used to be like, did you hear about this? But yeah, now it's don't tell me, damn.
Don't tell me anything. I don't want to know until.
And I don't know how many people have had to tell it. Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and so yeah, I mean that is. Does it lead? Oh, we got another question there or statement leads to another season, different, with a cliffhanger. And I don't know.
I don't think so. I really
it's a tough
don't.
Call.
Because you already have these movies planned coming out.
What could you do if you're thinking of it? What could you do for an entire season again with Wanda? Do you want to go through another whole sequence of her still being out of control? And I don't know.
I don't think there is. If you do involve these characters at all, I think it's somebody else's story that they're part of, maybe. But I don't think we're going to see another WandaVision. I honestly think that at the end of this episode, there is going to be no vision. I think.
Yeah.
I think I hate to say it, but I think I see a very sad or glum kind of finale. I don't think it's going to be a happy ending.
And that's what, didn't we hear a little something like that? If not a spoiler, but that was one of the things that.
I've seen headlines and stuff about certain things.
There's going to be something major that people are not going to be
happy with,
or they'll be sad, right? So if that's the thing, is that this is we see Vision officially die again?
Well, I don't think he's alive in the first place, but I just think that you have to kind of end the whole mourning process. She has to just accept that he's no longer alive.
Because the House of M storyline, when it went into she took over basically the world, right? And kind of, whatever the world is considered in comics is basically the United States, right? Or New York, where all the characters seem to be from. So if you had all the characters in there, and they're all getting, and they reference more of the superheroes that got changed, right? That Spider-Man was a celebrity, and everybody knew his identity, right? He was married to, I think he was married to Mary Jane, I think it was, or Gwen Stacy actually, I think, and then other ones like Hawkeye was dead, things like that. So there's all sorts of little things in that comic series that are not. They took the element of House of M, but it's not. It's based on just a town, so it's not really affecting the other heroes because she created this bubble, right? So I don't know. I mean, do you expand her thing and she goes even more nuts, and then it affects everybody, and then Doctor Strange is rolling in to reel her back in?
Well, I think something happens that she does go overboard. I think I'm positive that she'll be the one that causes the ripple effect for the multiverse. So that's going to be if she hasn't done already with what she's done, because she's gone over the edge already. What's going to take to push her to do that much damage to rip open all these different multiverses and bring people in?
Yeah, and that's possible, right? And I think if she's rolling in and wrecking it or ripping open the multiverse, and who do you call to help fix it up? You're probably calling Doctor Strange. He's a guy that can figure it out.
Well,
right?
I see the Multiverse of Madness. So that is the Spider-Man is coming out later this year, and followed by Doctor Strange.
Is Spider-Man later this year?
It's later this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be out the end of this year.
If we ever get Black Widow.
Yeah, but everything keeps getting.
Well, I don't know. We're getting pushed, but we'll see.
But Black Widow was a prequel kind of thing. It's more of a backstory.
Well, they're saying it. There's some repercussions.
Well, I'm sure there will be. I'm sure that they're gonna have other characters who will appear later on.
Yeah. One comment. Yeah. So the next season will feature the evil character that brought this on, and I mean, it's not out of the question.
I just don't see how they do it though. With everything coming out so fast, all these movies, how do you tie it in and make everything work? Because I'm sure the pandemic hasn't put a complete monkey wrench in their plans yet, but it is really compressing the timeline they have to work with now, and they haven't it's not like they have years in between here or
Well, if you keep pushing things back,
yeah.
you keep pushing
So
it back,
I don't think we get any new series or second season for any of these shows in this phase.
because we got Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier coming up March. When's Loki drop?
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the actual date is on.
I think that one comes after Falcon
And
Winter Soldier.
Hawkeye, when is that?
I think that's after Loki.
So like there's just a ton of stuff. I don't see there being additional shows. Everything's gonna be tied into this phase, and this phase is just a mini phase, right? So it's not like 3 phases like the original 1, 2, and 3 Avengers, right?
Well, yeah.
So they're gonna really this phase will be over within what 3-4 years, 3 years.
I think so.
I don't see them doing a second season,
and it should have been maybe compressed to like 2 years if this pandemic wouldn't have been on, right?
Yeah. So if we do see anything like a WandaVision or a Wanda show again, it will be something down the road and something completely different, I think.
Because I think the timeline eventually you're gonna have to release Black Widow. Because I mean, like,
well, I think that comes out this summer sometime.
Yeah,
it will come out before Spider-Man.
Oh, I have to.
It's gonna come out this year.
Yeah.
Whether they have to, whether they're forced to stream it on Disney Plus, or if they do a combination, but they're gonna push it out this year.
Yeah, I mean, and it's gonna happen sooner or later, and get out of this pandemic eventually.
So, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other predictions? Anyone got anything? Any questions? Any comments? Anyone want to say anything else? I don't know. I think we're.
Anybody want to talk about the sweet set I threw together in a few minutes? Rushing around to get this up and ready for everybody.
On a timeline, 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah. When it goes live, it goes live.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No. I mean, I think I'm really looking forward to this last episode. It's gonna be good. I think we're gonna get everything wrapped up real nice here.
Considering how the show started off, like I said, it was slower. I think we get a really big epic ending here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna be great, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll be up late,
early,
whatever you want to call it.
Probably won't get much sleep.
No.
Get the finale out for you guys early on Friday, as early as possible. Yeah. And then we'll have a better idea where they're heading.
Yeah. Don't forget to check us out there when we get the reaction review up. Give us some likes.
Yeah, do us a favor and hit the like button, subscribe.
Yeah, ring the notification bell, do it all. You know, so
don't be afraid to be interactive and leave comments and chat. Love to hear all the thoughts and theories, and if there's any ideas you guys got for the show or anything like that, throw them in there.
Yeah, we're always willing to wanting to hear new stuff, and we'll always answer you. Make sure answer as many questions as we can if you have any, or even comments. So we're always checking. So yeah, thanks for joining us. We got one more question. What's this here? Oh yeah, that's interesting. Agatha wanted to start her own world.
Before, when they first introduced her, when she was Agatha and she was talking there and talking about the powers and stuff, I was thinking she wanted them for herself. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the case. I don't think so either.
I think she is generally intrigued by Wanda. Yeah. Because she's a as they said, she's a mythical character. That's why she wanted to know how powerful Wanda was. Yeah. Well, I mean.
But I don't think she can duplicate how naturally powerful Wanda is.
No.
Wanda's doing all these things without any training. She has no clue what she's doing, and that's why she was wondering if that's how she figured out she's the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. And I think the big thing with Agatha is that in the comics, and I think in this and going forward, we'll see Agatha again. I think it's very possible. She helps Wanda. I think that's it. She helps Wanda hone the magic and stay maybe in control.
Yeah, I think going forward after this, we see a very, very, very powerful Wanda.
Oh yeah, and in comics, she is one of the most powerful characters there is. Like we always talk about that in Endgame. If Thanos didn't push the button to get the missile strikes coming down, I think she kills him. I think Wanda.
Yeah, I think she already at that point would have taken him out.
Yeah,
and I think they already alluded to that as well, that she had him.
Yeah, that's how powerful she is. Like, and if she can take out somebody that powerful,
and she didn't even have control over her powers like she does even to this point.
That's exactly it.
And so once she learns to hone the magic, I think she becomes nearly unbeatable.
I agree, and unless they throw us for a real loop here, and they make Wanda the extreme villain, and all the rest of the heroes got to band together to stop her.
Well, which would also be a neat twist, because you need a big baddie, and if she's gets as powerful as she can be, she'd be near impossible to stop.
Yeah, exactly. So that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Could go that route too. Well,
Well,
I think that's all for us here.
are we going to stream the finale?
Oh,
No, we cannot do that.
Yeah.
Well, we could do it, but we wouldn't be able to show any video on it.
yeah.
So when we do our little reaction, sometimes we have some issues getting that up there because there are copyright issues. You can't stream live television. So streaming that kind of thing, we could technically do, but we wouldn't be showing anything. We could be watching along with you. That is something we haven't actually discussed. It's something I actually thought about that we might do in the future. Is we might have a watch along party where we do watch different shows, and we'll have it on, and we just talk and react in the chat. And that is something we will probably consider doing in the near future here.
Yeah, definitely.
And that might be with other different kinds of shows. Maybe not some of these big streaming shows that require being up late and to get things out early, so you can kind of get the views on it. But other shows and stuff or movies, we might do a watch along with these type of things. So watch out for that for sure.
Yeah, all kinds of content we got coming up. So
yes, there's we can actually mention in here that there is going to be multiple channels coming up from us. We are going to have them on their own individual channels coming up. We will give you links and times when that's coming up, and so don't worry. We'll let you know when that's happening. There's still gonna be stuff going on this station, on this channel. But there's some really neat, funny, cool things coming up. Trust me, you'll enjoy.
Yeah. So check us out. We'll let you guys know. But yeah, as always, make sure you comment, question, everything. Do all that. We'll say it again. And thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Yeah. Pulsing Gator out.
See ya.